is mid-June. In fact, it's almost the longest day of the year. And tonight, I want to take you around the meadow and show you what's growing on here in a garden tour. Now, if you are looking for a perfect garden tour, one where everything is coiffed perfectly, where everything got pruned on time and planted on time, this is not the garden tour for you. This is a real garden, and we're going to show you what it really looks like. So, if that sounds good to you, let's go check out the meadow. I am going to start out here in my semi-native area because I have fallen in love with these spider lilies, and it's been a couple of years since we've had them because usually these guys right here eat them before they get to sprout. So somehow we got lucky this year. But we do have some, the spider lily is a native here where I live in Florida. And we have the giant ironweed, which is also a native. It's getting on its purple flowers. We have some invasives in here thanks to the bird feeder. These yellow flowers are invasive, but we've also got some more natives starting to come up that I planted from seed. And so we have some of those going on, as well as some Biden's alba has made its way over here. And of course, I've used this area before to throw out sweet potato vines and beans, and I see both of them growing in here as well. But we like to have one little wild area here, you know, semi-dedicated to natives as best we can. But I just love having all these flowers out here, and it looks great. And these spider lilies have just gotten to me. I just love them. I tried actually capturing them opening on a time lapse, and the camera died before the time lapse ever got finished. It got right to the point it started opening, and then nothing. So just want to show you all that. Oh, things are looking good back there. I still have that tree down at the creek I need to take care of. I am trying something new here. I am trying to do some air pruning with this bottle brush here. We're going to see how that turns out. Then along the back here we have orchard row along with some perennial flowers we planted. I was trying to remember if it was last year or the year before, but the perennials are back either way. So we have a lot of citrus back here, and then we have some blueberry plants, and I actually am getting some nice green on these, so I think I may try to do some propagation with those. If you haven't seen this yet, we've been moving around some of the trees, and I will be doing a fruit tree tour soon, but we strung up the grapes for now because they were starting to grow up into the mulberry tree, and we actually have some grapes on there, so kind of excited about that. Our first year with that. And yes, they're still in pots, and they'll stay in pots until they get to their permanent home. We also have some loquat in here and some additional citrus down there. This is our elderberry tree, one of the first of a few trees we planted here. When we arrived on this property, if you've never seen our garden tour with me before, when we arrived here, this was a blank slate. There was just builder grade loropetalum and what's the other one they like to put in the front of new houses? That's what we had here, and that is all, and grass. And so as soon as we could, we started planting things out, and this is 6 years in the making here. Over on this side, we've got more blueberries, more native flowers coming up here, some more citrus. We actually have fruit on. I'm so excited about that. That is so cool. We've not had a lot of success with the fruit because it hasn't been well cared for, and so we are continuing to learn. I am not an expert gardener, but I'm willing to try, and I'm willing to try stuff. So I just keep trying, and things are starting to work. Got some nice pink pentas here. And this is a mulberry tree, and it's grown very tall again. I'm hoping to do the same thing with the mulberry tree, is come and take some of these stems and start putting some rooting hormone on them and create more of the mulberry. Again, if you've not been here before, we actually own a good part of the land that is directly behind us here, and and I want to build, like along the road, some mulberry cuttings along the road that cuts through the property, because I think that would look really, really kind of cool. So, and let's see, what do we have here is some comfrey that we started up. And we actually dug it up from the side, and it's doing really, really well right here. And we're going to transplant that all over the different places in the meadow. In our Epic Gardening cedar line bed here, actually there's something kind of cool going on here. This is gailan, which is like a Chinese broccoli. And then in between I have garlic chives. Now, what's really interesting about this is so far, this is all relatively unscathed. I started these from seed, and I often see a lot of, and in fact I see one in the bed right here, snails in here. And so I have not seen these seedlings eaten by snails, and I think it's because of the garlic chives. And so we'll see. Of course, I just popped that one out, but that's the first one I've moved. I've seen them in this bucket, I've seen them on the wall, but I've never seen them down and in the mulch here. So maybe that garlic chives is working. We have another mulberry tree here, and then right here we have some bamboo, and I hope to be able to also plant that out on the other property and use this for a utility bamboo. I think one of the things I really love about sharing a lot of these things with you guys is I'm just sort of sharing my dreams. When we first got here, we really didn't know as much as we know now. I was a relatively beginning gardener, even though I had gardened. I hadn't had a lot of years in a row of success. I had only had one semi-successful garden and lots of learning. In fact, for my very first garden, I tried to plant seed right into St. Augustine lawn. That's how much of a novice I was. Not here, but my very first one about 15 years ago. That was what I tried to do. So there's that. So believe me, even if you know nothing now, you can learn. You can learn. We also have some blackberry bushes. I have a couple here, some on the other side. This African blue basil is back with a vengeance. I love it. The bees love it. Makes me very happy to see them out here buzzing. All different kind of pollinators love hanging out on this. To the blackberry. Some more natives here, a spotted bee balm, some moss rose, more of that beautiful ironweed. We have some Vietnamese pomegranate here, some dragon fruit, more blackberries, and I found out I've been showing you guys my taro a few times, and Mom came over and she goes, "Why did you let it do this?" And so she said, "Pull it out and look." And so I did. I pulled it out. Turns out I left it in too long because all of the roots had rotted off. And so I've got this beautiful growth here, but no roots to harvest. So I'll be getting some more of that from the grocery store and trying again. Over here in this bed, we have some squash. Oh, and a baby lizard. We've got squash here. We've got some watermelon coming up right here. There was some eggplant back there, but I'm not sure. There it is right there. I'm not sure with the shade of the zucchini how that's going to go. And this seems to have become like the squash area somehow. So we have loofah here, and we have trombosino squash, which I'm very excited about. And then in the back we have some roselle, we have okra, we have a pepper plant in between there. And over here we have more of the loofah. Oh, that's really starting to put on now. There we go. Let's get you up in there. Whenever I touch loofah, y'all probably have heard me say this before, it smells like peanut butter to me. It smells like peanut butter, which is kind of cool. Here we have, my friend brought over her honeydew melon to put in the compost, and we took a couple of seeds and I put them out in a few places around here. So we'll see if we end up with some honeydews as well. More of this African blue basil. I am very excited our first chamomile right here. That's coming along nicely. I did do some Turkish eggplant. These are really struggling here. I don't know if it's because the seeds were old, but that really hasn't done very much. It's been about 2 weeks. Maybe I'm not patient enough. So some more zucchini, tomato, and roselle and okra back over there. And our compost system here, this tumbler, I've marked one side if you're wondering. There's a plus here, but it was hard to see in the dusk, and so this is the side everybody adds to. And that's looking good. This is the side that's almost broken down. We've got a few more weeks for this. I haven't added more to it because I just wanted to see how it would be with just one big batch in there, if it would actually break down into compost. So we're about halfway through this experiment. And then over in this bed, this was actually our very first raised bed in the garden. We have some tomatillo. We have some more of that honeydew. It did pop up. Roselle and okra. And here we have an Asian long bean. I started to see some flowers just the other day, so I don't see any right this second. But pretty soon, oh no, here we go. We're gonna have some beans pretty soon. Look at that. Look at that cute little thing. So I'll have to start paying more attention now. Then over here, we have our sweet potato bed. This is also in a raised bed, but it's a cedar bed up off the ground. And inside of here, I tried something different this year. I did a really good job. I feel like, oh, hello. Hello, little baby. Excuse me, let's say hello. Hello. So cute. I use the Garden in Minutes garden grid underneath. Actually, I should put a picture up and show you what this looks like. I believe I planted it out like maybe the 3rd week of April. I'll get the date and I'll put an overlay in here to show you that. And, you know, behind me here are our bananas. They're looking great. They've really made a comeback. I don't see any flowers yet. There's still more that I need to do a better job at of pruning, but we are making some progress, and we have cut a few of the small ones out. In fact, I think it's safe to say it's probably time to do some pruning on the leaves as well. Then over here we have our lemongrass. We have some more of that comfrey going on. And like every good gardener, here's some work in progress here. Actually, I'll show you where all that went. And I'm testing out this little hose reel. Let's see what we think about this. Have you guys used one of these hose reels before? I would love to know what you think. We're always struggling up here at the front, dragging the hose, and so I thought I would try this out. I already have some opinions about it, but I would love to know what you think about this style of hose reel. It's got the little slider in it. You just crank it. Do tell me in the comments. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is that I caved, because I was trying to build up this and plant enough flowers to have like a mass planting in this little area here of flowers, and my planting failed, and I don't know. Anyway, it didn't go like I expected. So this weekend I caved and I bought flowers from the local Ace around here, and very happy that I did. I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. Now, it may not look like much yet, but we've got sweet potato, we've got angel face. These are not natives. The pentas are natives, but not everything here is a native. We've got the sweet potatoes growing, and my goal is that eventually it will fill in around the flowers and just give us a nice green cover. We've got these blue days, some kind of a blue days, and pentas in pink and red. And so I think this is going to look nice as it keeps filling in. And Mrs. Michelle was really kind. I was spent on Sunday, and she came out and helped me get all the mulch and get everything finished up. So I'm very grateful for that. Over here we have the north side of the garden. In this bed we have our Asian wing beans coming up. We've got some volunteer cucumbers and some basil in the middle. And we are still waiting on figs. This just feels crazy because for the last several years we had figs by now. We were eating figs by now. I find some on the ground, but I have not found any ready to eat up here just yet. Our peaches and plums are kind of just hanging in there. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I did a experiment trying to get rid of this torpedo grass. As you can see, that did not work. Over on this side, there is more frog fruit, and I think the frog fruit is starting to choke some of it out, but I pretty much have given up on trying to get rid of the torpedo grass up here. Maybe someday in the future I will resume that fight, but this is not that season. Then next to the figs, we have our persimmons, and they are looking good. This is going to have to be covered in a few months to keep the raccoons off of it. We'll figure out how to do that. And then we have more sunflowers opening over here. Another new one. This we have some sunflowers and garlic chives, and they don't look as lovely at night. These are kind of spent and they will come back. This is spiderwort. This is spiderwort, another native. Another fig tree here. If you watched the video where I pruned it back, you can't even tell that I pruned it back looking at it now. We have another peach tree here. This side is fallow right now. Well, I mean, sweet potatoes keep trying to grow, and I keep harvesting sweet potatoes. You can see sweet potato vines are popping up all over, because once you plant sweet potatoes, you don't really get rid of sweet potatoes. So there's a little vine, there's a little sweet potato sticking out right there, in fact. There's that one right there. So I keep pulling those out over here. Ultimately, I plan to have comfrey and some other flowers along the edges. And so I just keep popping out the sweet potatoes as I see them come up. And I have the time to get dirty to do it. Now this is our olive tree, and I am struggling to keep it staked up. If you guys have any advice, I have it staked, but it's still pulling. It was leaning that way, now it's leaning this way. Do I just need bigger stakes? Any recommendations you guys have for what I could do for this? I sure would appreciate it, because it's lovely and large now. It's grown. It's almost doubled in size. I haven't seen any olives yet, but last year it got way too much water right here, and I think that's what happened around the roots. So again, I'd welcome any suggestions that you guys have. Over here, which I can't even believe, the corn is starting to come up and really get growing here. I see some beans have been planted in the ground before over here. There might have been beans in here last season, I'm not sure. See some beans starting to come up, that's okay. And then we have, this is why I wanted to do this at night. This is the bottle gourd. Look at the flowers on this thing. I mean, they are just gorgeous. We haven't seen any female flowers yet, but the male flowers have been showing up for about a week now. So I expect we'll see some female flowers pretty soon. And these that are deciding that they want to vine on down across the yard, I will probably be just cutting those off, because we have a good number here. This is just 4 plants. Just 4 plants right here. Then we have some things that have started bolting. We have bok choy. Our lettuce is bolting over here now. I have watermelon and cantaloupe back there. Okra is back there. Some tomato plants that just are in terrible shape and need to come out. We've got eggplant here. The Cataly guava, y'all, is really just doing really nicely for these plants here. Oh, I see some more tomatoes back there. I picked tomatoes earlier. Look at how much Cataly guava is on this one. So, but next year it's going to have to be moved out into its place on the other side. My F100s really are not looking good. I have a feeling that this is kind of the end of that. I do need to start cutting some of the bad ones out. But I see that we have this, I think it's a leaf-footed bug up there that's been having its way with my tomatoes. And I think it got overwatered or underwatered. And so, again, they look terrible, but we have had, in fact, today I picked about 2 pounds of tomatoes off of this. Next, over here, this bed is really, I've got tomato jungle back there. These are some beefsteak tomatoes. I haven't had very many red ones yet. I've had a couple, but they've cracked and they've gotten a little bit of bug in them, and I tried to pick them early, but then I just end up with them rotting on the counter before they actually turn ripe. And so I guess it's going to be all fried green tomatoes this year, and I'm just going to be okay with that. But the bell peppers, now these took months and months. Somebody asked me last time, how long did it take for these to turn red? These are California Wonder. I planted them from starts, and I planted them around the first week of February, and so this is June. And so it took almost 4 full months for them to start turning red, so after they were in the ground. So if that helps you at all, and I'm in Florida, if that helps you at all, maybe you know that. This is one little teeny tiny basil plant that has overtaken the bed. Got to come back and cut that back some too. But I'm going to come out here and get me some green tomatoes, and I'm going to fry them up. I'm going to give it a try. I've only done that one other time in my life, so why not? Why not? Our avocado is looking really, really good here. I need to do a little bit of pruning. I'm going to pull back some of these branches that don't have any fruit on it. I might even take one of these newer branches and try to graft it onto the rootstock. The avocado that was way over there was actually grown from a pit. I have no idea what it is, but I'm thinking if I root, I know what this is, if I graft some of this onto that, at least I have a shot at getting some more avocados here. But we have some under here, or we did, oh no, oh there they are. I was like, tell me they didn't get them already. So they're starting to put on some size here, which I'm glad for. But the raccoons got most of the only guy had a few on last year, and the raccoons got most of those. So the goal will be to protect this. I think I'm going to build a little fence around it just to keep them away from it, and we'll see how that goes. And this is the volunteer cucumber bushes. I think there's about 6, there may be more than 6 plants in here. I can see some that I missed this morning right there. I'll get that tomorrow. I've been trying to do a really good job of keeping them picked so they could keep producing. I picked 18 today. I didn't pick any for 2 days in a row because there just weren't that many to pick. And so I picked 18 of them today, and I can see more that will be ready for tomorrow. I always call these, when I'm looking at them, like, okay, you're a tomorrow cucumber. I'll be back for you tomorrow, cucumber. Okay, you be there, okay? So, but these are all volunteers. And this eggplant here I overwintered. The tomatoes were all from starts, and these look just as terrible as the other ones, but I think I'm going to soon pull off all the green ones. What I can't fry up, we'll just freeze up, and we'll use those in soups. And they'll give you a little sour palate for a soup. This is the future cucumber condo, and if you can see something growing in there, that is this hummingbird vine. And I'll tell you what, I 100% regret ever planting that right here next to the garden bed. And so that has grown underground. It has rooted. We have actually dug all the way to the bottom of the bed. We've dug it out completely. I keep breaking it off, and it still keeps coming back. So if you want to plant a native hummingbird vine like this is, put it somewhere that the aggressiveness of it won't overtake everything. And it's so funny, after I planted it, as I was driving around different places, I could see that there were just fences covered in it, almost breaking under the weight of the hummingbird vine. So not all natives are right in the right places. So just know where you're planting them, especially if they're aggressive. So it's not invasive, it's just aggressive. It's a native here, and it's just going to take over and run. Now, I started out on this corner of the patio, but I forgot to do this part of the patio. So here we have our basil tower. We've already harvested our yum choy su. I will put the name up. All of a sudden, I can't remember the name of it, but I let it get too big, and so this is when I wanted to harvest it, and I let it get really tall, bolting, and so I have just a couple left. We didn't get to eat those, sadly, but we'll have more of the Guyland out there, which has a very similar taste. Got some basil in here and a lonely sweet potato. and a curry plant. My neighbor gave me that. Thank you, neighbor. And then over here, we have onions seeding and coming up. My nasturtiums have never come up that I planted. Thank you. Another friend gave me this plant. I think it's a lamb's quarter or a lamb's ear there. And then we have our onion bed and our onion seed saving experiment here with these tool bags. This has finally been the way that I like doing this the best, is these tool bags. And I did test cutting it off and hanging it somewhere dry, and that works as well. So once it's fully set with seeds, you can just cut it off and hang it upside down and put a tool bag over it to collect those seeds, or put it in something else out of the weather. I've also just folded them back into the bed, and you can see here I have onions growing right down there as well. Finally, we have our dragon fruit, which hopefully by the time I do my next garden tour, they will be over there, and all of those trees will be out there. So fingers crossed, because I don't know if you're like me, but I create lots and lots of projects. I create projects like this is my full-time job. But it is a passion for me, and I do love being able to be out in the garden and share what's growing on here with you guys. So what questions do you have? Oh, I don't think I told you. I'm in zone 9B in Northeast Florida. I've been on this property for about, I'm waving at the cat in the window. I've been on this property now 6 years and gardening here very seriously for the last 3 to 4 years. And so just slowly trying to transform it and turn it into a place that provides food and joy and mental health, because, you know, the garden is a great place to pull some of that back together. And that makes me really happy to be able to do that as well. I can see the sun is starting to go down now, but I think the light is still enough that I can just enjoy it out here a little bit more. And so I'm gonna go have a seat and fix me something cold to drink and relax and enjoy the meadow as the sun goes down. If you want to see more of what's growing on here, be sure to check out this video right over here. And until next time, my friends, remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and as always, have a fantastic